The woke cat observes the review. So this is Venom number 8. And of course it's good. Are these ever bad? I don't think I've read a bad Venom undercase yet, except the first one where I was just a little kind of confused what was going on with continuity and stuff, and that all got addressed. But this is really good for a couple of reasons, and we're going to go over that. I continue to be impressed by this guy. Like, I don't how does this guy just churn out so much good stuff all the time? It's pretty impressive in especially in today's Marvel comic landscape, where just about everything is terrible. This guy churns out good story after good story. It's almost like he cares. And the art, top notch. Usually the formula by now to Marvel Studio book is the art goes downhill by now. Usually they switch artists and they take like a lower tier artist that's probably cheap and they get rid of the good one who churns out awesome stuff like this, and they bring in somebody like Marvel 2-in-1 and you know, Spectacular Spider-Man with Chris Blanco, where he just phoned it in for a couple of issues, like Wholesale Blanco or something. I don't know. But this guy, this Ivan or whatever his name is, he's killing it. I don't know if he's been on every issue, but man. So real quick on the review itself. This is a really good issue because it taps into a lot of stuff with Spider-Man. If you remember in the last issue, he finds out Flash is dead. And we get this scene here where he's visiting Flash's grave. He's actually going to visit Flash's grave twice because this time it's a simulator. We get some stuff with the Maker here. Now, I don't know if he's coming back. Now, I think, here's the deal. This issue kind of hints that the Maker, and if you don't know who the Maker is, this is Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe. So this is an evil Reed Richards. I don't have the time to explain who he is fully. He's just an alternate version of Reed Richards. He's actually a really interesting villain and character. You'd have to go... I forget the name of that arc, but there's actually a story, an Ultimate Comics story, where they show everything with him and his downfall. I forget the name of it. I want to say it's not Ultimate Sin or something. I can't remember, but basically it reveals why he's a villain, and he's really messed up. But he's actually survived. He's over here working with some kind of organization in America. And, you know, they haven't really went too far into what's going on. I think from, well, I'll just show you. If you look here, you see a bunch of different things that have been going on. Galactus, Silver Surfer, the death of Thanos, who'll be back, Miles. This is Spider-Verse, basically, Spider-Geddon. I don't know what that is or what's going on here. But he's looking at different events going on right now in the Marvel Universe. Which, and that's where they leave this story off. And I'll get into what was going on in a minute. But it tells me that there's an event coming up with him, which could be kind of interesting, actually. It'd be really cool if Donny Cates writes it. Let him write everything, Marvel. Why don't you just pay him, like, all the money you pay every artist and some, and just let him write anything and everything. I think you'd have a better company. Cut it down to about 7 or 8 books and just let him write it all. Be perfect. But like I said, this book picks up on Flash Thompson stuff, which is really cool. It's very nice to have like that weave in with Spider-Man. But this is a fake grave site. We get a lot of discussion between him and the Maker for a while. And if you don't know what's going on, basically something happened that was like so traumatic and stressful to the symbiote in the final battle with the dragon guy, who was like the god and creator of the symbiotes or something, that it wiped out his consciousness. So basically, it's just Eddie Brock driving the symbiote. It really has no personality now, which is a unfortunate thing. That was like one of the better things about the book, but it's working. You know, it's not going to be permanent. They'll find a way to restore that. That's obvious, and that's going to be an arc in the book, of course. But here's where things get really cool. So this book has a lot to do with Flash Thompson. And one of the reasons for that is they talk about how everyone that's ever had a symbiote attached to them has some of it inside of them. What they were doing was extracting it, and they wanted to, what pissed off Brock so much is they wanted to exhume his body and extract stuff to get it all out. And they, from his blood, took this essence of Flash, and this is a codex of the symbiote when it was inside of Flash. And what happens is, and there's also a plot point in here that the symbiote prefers Flash, and Brock knows it, and he accepts it. And it pulls this piece into it. And what it is that's like a memory shard of Flash Thompson's Venom. And when he's trying to escape this facility, he absorbs it and actually becomes Agent Venom for a second. It's not the real Flash Thompson, but it ends up being like he talks to like him and stuff. And if you remember Agent Venom, which was a really good run, actually. That was a really good run. And man, if you missed that, you should go read it for sure. It was very good stuff. And they had Secret Avengers. That was really good. He was on that team. You should check that out if you haven't read it. But we get to see him again, and that was really cool. And Maker just lets him go. But like, look at that splash page. Isn't that badass? You get a lot of like nostalgia in this book if you've been reading the other runs. And like the Amazing Spider-Man run that I read, the issue 9 or 8. If you didn't read it, you're not beat over the head. You're not lost. But if you did read it, you're rewarded. Like, I got a lot of reward out of reading this because I read that entire Agent Venom run, and it was excellent. And it was nice to get something for that. It really was. All right, so we're going to go into spoilers now. I'm going to go into the end of the book. So if you don't want to know, don't show up. I'm going to give this book a 4.5 because it was almost great. Because this is where it should have ended right here. I think not ending the book right here kind of hurt the flow. This would have been a solid 5 if that. And this is a nitpick. 4.5 is still like close to greatness, but we get this thing. He finally goes to the real Flash Thompson's grave, and you get a nice speech with him telling him how much, you know, he looks up to him and how great of a man he was, and he walks away. And then the next scene, we get him like pretty much accepting what's going on, and maybe he shouldn't worry too bad about the symbiote consciousness being gone. And the big spoiler that gets revealed, and this is where it just messed up the flow for me, is we find out that it looks like Cletus Cassidy is going to be revived. I didn't even know he was dead or whatever. They have a bunch of codex here. So what tells me is they're going to revive the original Carnage, and that is going to be an upcoming arc, and it will probably tie into how they'll restore the symbiote's consciousness. But another great issue of amazing awesomeness by Donny Cates. Still one of the better Marvel books. In fact, this and Ultimate Hulk, or Immortal Hulks, I'm sorry, are the two best things they have right now, for sure, hands down. Two best books at Marvel. If you decide to pick up anything, you know, and I know a lot of you don't want to, this book and that book are the two to check out. So anyway, check out my Patreon. Check out my Stream Me, links in the description. Like, subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys really soon. I'll have some stuff up on the other platforms soon too. I've just been really busy past couple days. So anyway, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.